Hello and welcome to the power tutorial for Wayward Terran Frontier. As you can see here, I've got a strange power setup that wouldn't probably make a very good ship, but I'm going to use it to try to demonstrate some of the features of the power systems. In order to facilitate interesting wiring setups that allow power to route through all sorts of different directions and from place to place, I make modules like this turret authoritative over taking the power from other modules. What this means is that one module that will take power, like this thruster, can't take power from another module, such as this gun. The gun, however, can route anywhere through the conduits that are attached to find power wherever it may be. And that means that if there's power in a capacitor it's connected to, it will take that power, and if it can't take that power, it'll gladly take it directly from a reactor. Reactor cores are where power originates, so you can't really chain power through reactor cores, and you can't chain power through modules. But if you connect everything well enough, power can route easily from any point on your ship to any other point on your ship. The limitation is that every conduit has a maximum bandwidth for power. In this design, I've placed two shield generators, and they connect to each other at this choke point here in order to get power from the reactor. In all likeliness, these two shield generators will try to take power at the same time, and they'll find that there isn't enough bandwidth in this section of pipe. So I can fix that by simply making a second connection, both to the conduit there and also to the reactor. As you can see, it's kind of sloppy, but those two shield generators have a completely separate path for each generator to the reactor. That means that their bandwidth across that pipe won't be reduced by competition for power. In this way, if you really want more power to your guns, you can lay more pipes to get it there. So let's talk a bit about reactor cores. A reactor core is this thing in the center here. That's where the energy is actually generated. But, as you can see, I've placed injectors. Injectors are modular, so on a very small ship you can have just one. It'll be cheaper, it'll generate less energy, but it'll also generate less heat, and it costs less, and it fits in a smaller place. So I talked about heat. Heat is the other mechanic that's important to understand for power. When a reactor core makes energy, it also makes heat. You can see the heat as a little number when you're playing. When that number hits a certain threshold, the reactor core is considered overheated and it will not generate energy anymore. In order to get rid of heat, you just need to place these modules, which are radiators. The radiators don't use the bandwidth of the pipes the way other modules use the bandwidth. And so you can place them basically so long as they're touching the side of the ship they will work, and so long as there is a way for the conduits between the radiators and the generator core, it will dissipate heat from it. And one radiator can be hooked to multiple generator cores, and it will be intelligent about how it reduces heat. It reduces heat at a constant rate, though, and you do need to have more radiators for each reactor core and for each injector. The ratio is about 3 radiators per each injector, but when you have more injectors on a single reactor core, it tends to run that reactor core a little bit hotter. And so you can build very inefficient setups where you'll have to have many radiators to cool down your reactor cores. I also talked a bit about chaining modules. Capacitors are a little bit special in terms of module chaining because capacitors work kind of like a conduit. By connecting them together like this, they will act as one large capacitor and transfer energy just like a series of conduits would. You can't do that with power-using modules, because like I said, the power-using modules are authoritative for going out on the grid and finding the power that they need every update cycle. So that should cover the basics of power. I hope to see you creating some interesting things. And thanks for watching the tutorial.